Project Cars 2. I want to like it. I really want to like it because it's got all the cars and tracks of Project Cars 1, but it's got an actual polished UI as opposed to Project Cars 1, where you can't have more than one setup per car per track. You can't tell which setup you're using other than just assuming that it's using whichever one you have for a car and a track. You can't get setups from the leaderboard. Just all kinds of irritating things about Project Cars 1. And so, I want Project Cars 2 to be just as fun to drive as Project Cars 1. Now I realize there's all these other choices, and I have most of them, and I drive most of them, but there are times it just has the car and the track that you want. So, for instance, right now, trying to do Formula C at Monaco. And when I first started this, it was so infuriating, which is what Project Cars 2 seems to do. And I'm going to show what I've done to try to make it better and continue trying that. And I have a really modest goal. It's to beat 140. The world record is 130 point something. So this shouldn't be that difficult. But it is. And we'll start with why. Right there, first reason why. I just tried to brake and I locked up the front and I couldn't even make that corner. That's just undrivable. I mean, it's not just me. And you can turn on anti-lock brakes and it's not going to help much. So, I found out some things about the setup. I'm going to edit this default loose setup with some things that I read, some advice I got from people, and things I tried. First thing is, got to put the brake balance way, whoops, wrong direction, way towards the back. I don't even know how much farther I should go on this. I was told to try this 46, and it just started working. I turned off the assists. I had all the assists turned on to try to make this drivable. I put it on full. I had anti-lock brakes on high. I didn't have stability control on. I had traction control on high, I think it was. And it was just muddling what I was trying to do with the setup. And I thought, let me just turn these off, see if I can make it drivable at least, and then worry about the assists. And lo and behold, I didn't have to turn them back on. So, right off the bat, we had to change the brake bias because it was front wheels locked. You touch the brakes. The other thing is the brake pressure. I think I turned this down even more than that. I would rather be fully pushing on the brakes and wishing I had a little more braking power than locking up. So let's try it like that. And that's the only change I'm going to make at the moment, because I want to show that just that helps. I think it will. Let's find out. I was pushing on the brakes much harder than I was the first time, and I was able to stop and steer. It wasn't just locking up. Now, there's a couple of more things we have to do. One is that this gearing is way too long. That front straight that we were just on is the fastest we're going to go, and we barely touched fifth. This is a 6-speed. Why do we need it? And it's so sluggish, see? This is one of the things about Project Cars 2. The cars feel so sluggish. Feel and sound so sluggish. You know what I just realized? I got no game audio in my headset. I'm going to have to fix that before I get serious here. Okay, so that's another problem. The steering ratio. This is a super tight track. There's no reason to have this insanely loose steering or insanely big steering ratio, whatever you want to call it. This is dumb. This is dumb on any track in any car. I hate that. I almost always go in at any game, any sim, any car, any track, and lower it to 9. But on this one, I'm all the way down at 6 and still trying to figure out how to make that hairpin there at the hotel or whatever it is. The other thing is, again, this track isn't about speed, and it really seems to help to just turn the downforce all the way up, front and rear. Now maybe I need to back this off a little bit, but that's going to help. But it's not going to be obvious from watching me drive, whereas the steering ratio was, the front locking up was. Now, we need much shorter gears. I think that the biggest the final drive will go is 1 click more than it was, which isn't enough. I tried it. So then, what I'm going to try is each one of these goes up 1. First gear can't. Second up 1. Third up 1. Fourth up 1. Fifth up 1. Sixth up 1. And fifth a lot sooner. Let's see, we turned up the downforce to try to avoid understeer or oversteer. We put the brake balance way to the rear to avoid locking up the front. Reduce the brake pressure to try to avoid locking up. I think I'm going to put that back up at 88. Not touching any of this. I don't want to have to worry about any of this. This is to show that we could just focus on a few things. Let's go one more. Just try that real quick. Fourth. I could still make them even shorter, but this already feels so much better. The car feels so much more alive. There I was modulating the brakes, so I had all I needed. Okay, so I keep invalidating there in the third sector, so I'm not even getting valid laps. But it feels good. Other than the one hairpin, I am not having to steer too much. It feels responsive. Maybe I could shorten the gears even more, considering I'm barely touching fifth in the front straight. Maybe I'll do that. Okay, we've done another notch shorter on the gears. So now we should just drive and try not invalidating. See how that goes. And try to have some fun. That's what I forget when I'm trying to do hot laps. I'm never going to be the fastest guy. Ever. Although, I do have one Project Cars 1 world record, but I'm not going to tell you what it is, because then somebody will go beat it easily. That was just really badly done from the hairpin on. That is weird. I had it beat until I went into the swimming pool chicane. Oh, by the way, you can't turn damage off in Project Cars 2 time trial mode. So my steering's all messed up right now. I need to restart. Oh, ow. Steering wheel. Okay, is there anything I want to change? Let's do another notch shorter on the gears. Oh no! I had him so beat, and I finally locked up the front end there. I had him so beat. Oh my god, I set green sectors in the first two. The point is, I'm not swearing at the game. I'm swearing at myself. Now, the good news is, for my ego, I'm not alone here. I've watched some good drivers on YouTube doing this in other sims, this track. And they say they invalidate a lot. You have 2 green sectors, but I don't think this is it. 140.080. Don't have a green sector in the middle. I shouldn't even be looking at that, but this might be it. .860. Not a great time in the grand scheme of things, but the point is that coming into today, I was at 142 something, not enjoying it, wishing that I could get Project Cars 2 to feel better, and just in using the advice I got and starting to tune some things, it got better to drive, and just in testing that out, I cut 2 seconds off. Anyway, I need to get back on the throttle sooner on the exit of every corner. I need to handle that hairpin better. Need to find the track limits without going over them better. All right, well, that's good enough. Let's be done. Let's be done. Let's be done. That's good enough. That's something.